Welcome back. We are in Module 3 today. We'll get it wrapped up today. Quick reminder of what we talked about last time was lifestyle. So your future and the job that you choose is going to have a direct impact on your lifestyle. So what are the things you want in life? And will you be able to provide those things for yourself with your career? That could be a big factor could be how much money do you make, but another really big factor could be how much time do you spend at your job versus doing the other things in your life that you want to do. So we left off here where you should do some research before going out and finding a job, so you know as much about it as possible. So one way to do that is to look at population and work trends. Some jobs maybe need to take place in cities that have a very high population. But one thing to keep in mind there, so let's just say like you want to own a restaurant, all right? If you own a restaurant in a city, you're going to have a lot more potential customers, but you're also going to have quite a bit more competition. Whereas if you own a restaurant in a very small town, you may not have quite as much competition, but you also don't have as many people to come in and eat every night. So that's a way population affects that particular job or career path. The other thing to keep in mind, kind of as we mentioned there, is competition. If you want to be a police officer, then you also want to think about how many other people are trying to have that same position as you. That's a form of competition also. They're going to only hire one person, and there's 10 people for the job, and you're one of those 10. That's going to be maybe a little harder to get hired. Whereas if you want to be a police officer in a smaller town, there may be less people applying for that job, which gives you a better chance. Okay, think about what products and services are going to be in the highest demand going forward. And you have to just kind of take a guess at this. You have to use some indicators. It's obviously not something you can tell for 100% certainty. All right, this little wheel here is interesting with your job. You want to really think about all of these things. Here's the one we all think about the most, probably, especially in high school. How much money am I going to make? Okay, it's all about the money. You'll find out there's a lot more to it than just the money. Okay, what are my work hours? You may make a lot of money, but what if you have to be at work 12 hours a day for 6 days a week? Are you willing to do that? Okay. Would you rather make a little less money and only work 40 hours a week? What if you have to work weekends? Okay, is that something you're willing to do? What if you have to work late into the night or really early mornings? Think about the hours you're going to be working as well. What's your work environment like? Okay, are you in an environment that's dangerous or safe? Are you working outside or inside? Are you in the cold or the heat? Or are you in a nice, comfortable building? Those are some work environment questions. Are you going to work for a company that has new, nice facilities? Okay, nice desks, computers, all that stuff? Or are you going to work at a company that is outdated and their environment is not the best? The type of work is really important. Okay, are you doing physical labor, or are you working more with your brain and working with numbers and working on the computer? What type of work do you prefer? Some people really like to do work with their hands or physical labor because they can just sit there. When they're done with their job for the day, they know exactly what they accomplished. Whereas others may not want to be physically exerting themselves as much, so they'd prefer a job that they don't have to do any manual labor. What is the company's purpose? You want your purposes, your goals to align with the company's. Okay, in other words, let's say if you really care about the environment and you can find a job where you're helping to save the environment, that's going to align with your purposes in life and your goals in life. That's going to be pretty satisfying. If your purpose in life is to help save the environment, but you go take a job at a company that pollutes the environment, you may like the job, you may make a lot of money, but if their purpose and your purpose don't align, that's probably not going to be the best job for you. And then finally, management style. Okay, are you going to have a a manager, a boss that's going to be very demanding, very controlling, likes to have a lot of power over you. Sometimes we like to have someone tell us exactly what to do, and we know exactly what's expected of us. Or do you want a management style where they trust you? You have to kind of figure things out on your own, but there's more than one way to get your job done, and your management style is a little bit more relaxed. Okay, everybody can find happiness or success in these different areas, but on that same token, you can also end up taking a job where some parts of this little wheel here don't align with what you want, and that can really affect how you like that job, or how much you dislike that job. A lot of people I've found that live in Nebraska their whole lives always say, I really want to move somewhere else. I don't want to be stuck in Nebraska forever. I understand that. I understand the weather. I understand the population. I understand you may have other goals and places you'd like to live. Me personally, I don't understand how I've lived my life without being near like the ocean. I just think the ocean's the coolest thing ever. Anytime we take a vacation, that's where I want to be. I would love to live somewhere near the ocean, but there's a lot of other factors at hand. Okay, do you want to leave your family? How much does it cost? Okay, that's one benefit about living in Nebraska. The cost of living is very low. Some of the lowest costs of living in the entire country. So what that means is if you want to pay your tax, when you have to pay your taxes, if you want to buy a house or rent a house, you can get a lot more house for a lot less money than you could, let's say, in Colorado or California or some big city. Okay, so it's up to you. But do some research into a city before you decide that's where you want to move. Try to figure out how much it costs to live there, what's their weather like, what's their population like, what's their crime rate like. There's a ton of factors like that that you should look into before deciding to move.